All right, everybody, this is part 2 of building a Google Ads sheet that just makes our life way easier when creating Google Ads. And I thought a bit about it, and there's a few things that I wanted to do. So in the Google Sheet, I want to be able to access the Google Ads locations from their database, their API. I could just take their CSV, it's like a list of location data, and put it into a Google Sheet, but it's actually really big. It's like, I don't know, 24 megabytes or something. And Google Sheets doesn't like it. It's a very big list. So instead of doing that, what I'd rather do is put that list on a database and then just query that database, and update it every week with they call it a cron job. So that's what I'm going to do. And how am I going to do all this? So first, a friend of mine referred me to this server called Netcup, which has pretty affordable servers. So a server is a place where you can put, your databases and things like that. And another tool that I'm going to be using called n8n. So I'll get into all that. So first you'd get one of these or something like that. This is what I got. So you go to root server. I picked this one. Order now. Hopefully it doesn't order right now. Yeah, okay. One thing to note about this one is um, the payments system's kind of funny. So you'll click like some order thing without even putting in your credit card info. At least that was my experience. And it just says like, okay, you've ordered it. So a little bit weird. What you have to do is go into their dashboard and then purchase it there after you've quote unquote purchased it. So just a heads up. So you do all that, and then finally, like you'll get access to the server. Great. Then it's a little bit of work setting things up. So there's a few ways you can do this. So if you have a server, you can just use Docker. You add Docker to the server, and then you can put your databases, your n8n, and all that stuff on there. But the same friend recommended I use this thing called Coolify. Look it up here. Let's just explore it a little bit. So it basically lets you add things to the server a lot easier than opening up a terminal and doing all this crazy code. So you just kind of click like an n8n thing, you click a database thing, and it just adds it, makes it really easy. So this is what I did. I added Coolify to the server. So now I'm running that here, and I have some projects in here. So Google Sheets tools, this is where the database is going to live with all the location information. And then over here, I have n8n. So there's not too much to say about this. It's a postgresql database. It's like if you've ever played Battleship, it's like a big grid, and you have columns and rows and information. So it's just going to be information about the locations. So like Santa Barbara, state, California, zip code, etc. And then n8n, this is where some AI magic happens. So so yeah, I have this all set up, and I set it up to backup. If you're curious, because the backup part kind of took a little bit of time. How do I get rid of this thing? There we go. So the backups. If you go to settings, actually, pardon me. I use an external backup. It's called Backblaze B2 here. So you get the Backblaze B2, you get that all set up, and then you create these things called buckets, and those buckets are where you store information. So I created a bucket called like Coolify external backups. Add your little keys to that bucket. So you have like two, like a key ID and then another app key, I forget. You'll go to S3 storages, and then you'll add that Backblaze thing, okay? And then once you add that Backblaze thing, then you can go to settings and hook it all up. So you go to settings, like do the backups, and that'll back up Coolify. But the thing is even though you think you're backing up everything when you back up Coolify, it doesn't back up everything. So if you have n8n on it, you have to do another step. So you'll click into n8n. I don't want to click in because I don't want to share information there, but you'll click in and you'll add a resource. So let me, yeah, so you'd click like add a project, n8n, and then you'll click a resource. And the resource actually is n8n. It's n8n with postgresql. That's the one I chose. There's another one that's just n8n. I don't advise clicking that because it's a pain in the butt to back it up. So click n8n plus postgresql, and that will give you a way to easily back it up. And then you'll just hook up that same backup that you created here to it, right? There's a few things I'm still working on here, but everything seems to be working fine. In Cloudflare, where I have my name servers and everything, I have a domain. It's whatever, it's like yourdomain.com, right? And then what you do is you add subdomains to it. So for Coolify itself, it's there. But for like the other things, I have different subdomains for those for working in n8n. So like for n8n, it's like n8n here. So just to like kind of let you know how it works. And so I'm going to have that list, right, of all like the location data. But then there's some kind of like magic that I want to happen. So I want the AI to be able to look at a keyword and look at like the location that I've already kind of told it about. So like for different keywords, I'm thinking I'm going to group them, in a way that makes sense. So I'll have, SEO this area, SEO that area, and then group them. But then also kind of mention, okay, these are the areas that I want you to run that ad, right? So it's going to have the keyword, it's going to have where I want to run it, and then I'm going to have a list of landing pages. And also I'm going to say for those landing pages, okay, these are the kind of areas I want those to be running on. So with all that information, I think I can get, I think I could get this n8n tool to be able to match up the landing pages with the appropriate Google Ad keywords, which is really huge because that is a huge time savings. Imagine like going through each keyword, and we're talking like it could be 6,000 keywords, and then adding the appropriate landing page. That would be really tough. At the beginning, though, with Google Ads, you could just start with one landing page with a dynamic title, just to hit the ground running quick. But I think as things move on, you're going to want to have dedicated landing pages. Or you could kind of tweak it and have, maybe three, like let's say you have three services. You could have three different landing pages with dynamic header titles on them. So yeah, it just adds a lot, allows for a lot of flexibility. So yeah, this is where I am right now. I have everything set up, so I just need to work on the database and work on these AI stuff, and then I should be on my way. And the really cool thing is, it's not too expensive. Maybe 12. Let's see, in US dollars, that's probably like $12 a month. Not too bad. If you were gonna use just n8n, let's see, n8n. So I'm running a lot of stuff on here. Like they got the database, got n8n. I'm going to add other things. So n8n pricing. Go to plans. So pricing, right? So it's already more just hosting on n8n stuff on their cloud, and this would be like the cheapest way, like a quickest way to do it. But I also have like database stuff that I need to work with, so it wouldn't be able to hold, like, as far as I know, that other database. So a lot of really cool stuff going on here with this server. So yeah, I picked this one. It was like 8 GB. Like should do the job. So yep, that's where I am. And stay tuned to see more Google Ads, Google Sheet magic.